Well, hello there, people there that I think again. I'm TheMBmulti. Welcome back to Doki Doki Blue Skies Part 37. In the previous episodes, yeah, it was another emotional crying episode in the previous episodes because, why? Oh yeah, because, why? Yeah, Sayori obviously, but it was because, yeah, Sayori and I were having an argument about had an argument that was in the episode before that, I believe, and my character was sad, and I was sad because, you know, I like on behalf of my character, kind of, well, mostly just because of the fact like a fucking awesome, beautiful, fantastic girl like Sayori, like, really shouldn't have to deal with something as tough as that, but, you know, you can't make that change for everybody. You can't make that happen for everybody. You can't choose that for everybody, I mean. So it's like, oh, fucking hell, Sayori, come on, like, oh. Well, why did it have to happen to you, almost, kind of, you know? And then I consolidated with Yuri, who gave me some advice, I believe. And then I went to school. Sayori wasn't there, but then Sayori was waiting at my house, and then we made amends after our arguments. Basically, we both thought that the other person wouldn't want to see the other one. Like, I thought Sayori didn't want to see me again, and Sayori thought I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to see her again. And that once again made me cry as well, because they're like, ah, like, I just wanted to jump through the screen and give her a hug. And it looks like we're finally here on some regular club activity. So, because we're starting out with a catchphrase that I've missed, because it isn't as heavy loaded as the Sayori depression stuff that we've been dealing with over the past few episodes. So, okay everyone, we finished sharing poems a little earlier than usual today, so I guess we got a little bit of free time before we have to pack away. Don't know about you guys, but I'm super relieved that all these exams are over. The past 2 weeks have been a blur of notes, frantic last-minute cramming, and a bucket loads of stress. Student life in a nutshell. Thankfully, today marks the end of the assessments. It also didn't help that I was dying to spend more time with Sayori. Me too, how did everyone's exams go? Mixed bag, to be honest. I was never a huge fan of math, so that one definitely could have gone better. Tell me about it. Physics wasn't much better. Coulomb's law, Ohm's law, Lenz's law, and I still don't get any of them. Biology went pretty well though. Yeah, that's actually... biology was one of my better subjects too. I dropped physics as soon as I could, because I fucking... First of all, wasn't interested, and as a result of that, I was pretty bad at it. We were learning all about the brain for this semester. So many different parts, and they've all got funny names. Labeling it was tricky though. It's fascinating to think that while we're learning about how our brains work, our own brains are active, processing it. Yeah, oh my god, Yuri. Yes, I have had that conversation so many times. Like, how the hell does my brain not understand how the brain works? It's literally learning about itself. Like, how the hell is that not public knowledge to, like, everyone's brain out there? Like, oh yeah, this is how I... like a readme, you know, when you install a game, like, or whatever, there's always a readme about who made it, or like how it works, or how you install it and stuff like that. Like, yeah, when you install a program, there's always a readme, like how you install it, how you uninstall it, and how it works and all that stuff. Why doesn't our brain have a readme? Why? It works perfectly fine. Well, not for everybody, but it works perfectly fine up in here. But it doesn't. But if you like have to learn, but you have to learn how. Paradox. Don't you think? Well, yes. Well, I've just been on a miniature rant about it, Yuri. So yes. Yeah, if you're a zombie, I'm not sure I understand. Zombies aren't capable of higher cognition, and geez, Yuri, it's because they like to eat brains. It was a joke. Oh, Yuri. Did you do well? I suppose my performance wasn't too bad. Come on, Yuri. We all know you're real smarty pants. bet you aced like all of your subjects. You really know how to put them on the spot, don't you, Natsuki? Anyway, to answer your question, Mark, I'm definitely with you. I've never been a fan of exam season. The amount of stress involved. She rarely rubs her temples. You have to juggle academics with your extracurriculars, don't you? High expectations don't make life any easier either. Her face drops for a moment. But that's enough of that. Yeah, all that, those types of dialogues are making me really sad that there's no Monika route. Because there's like a huge, like, I mean, Monika's been given a lot more personality as well. Then again, I guess it really conflicted with the fact that that first part, when you first install the mod, where Monika is like, "Oh, you're installing a mod. Like, I will allow the mods to take control and all that type of stuff." Like, yeah, I guess then if you start to actually date Monika, that could like be conflicting, where her modded personality conflicts with her like self-aware personality, which on one hand would be really cool, but on the other hand, it would also be very complicated, and it would distract from an actual Monika route where she's not self-aware that she's in the game, and it would, and either way it would be complicated to write. So I can kind of understand why they didn't do it, but I really want to know like how a Monika route would go, because like everyone has like a problem, right? Like Sayori is depressed, Yuri has extremely low self-esteem and self-harming tendencies, and I believe Natsuki has the abuse from her father. And Monika has like, she's like drilled by her parents that she has to fucking achieve like absolutely everything. She has to do like 15 different extracurriculars and get A+ on all of them, and get A+ on all her tests. And if she like gets a B- on one test, she like doesn't get food for like 1 week or something. I don't know. Like it's like something like that, something extreme. Like her parents are like zoning down on her, and they're raising her, like drilling her hardcore to be an extremely like high achieving student, and that of course causes a lot of stress, which is why she sometimes drops her face a bit. She's like, oh, I really would love to, like, you know, have a normal life with whatever. And like if that would also be super cool to get involved with. But there's no Monika route, so you know, there are only those pictures that we'll look at the end of the after I'm done with the entire mod. Why don't we have a Christmas party? Oh, like our Halloween one. That was so fun. Pretty much like that, yes. That's a wonderful idea. A good way to seed the year off. Yeah, okay. I can't see why not. Oh, excuse me. Yay! Well, that's a pretty ununanimous vote. You can also around mine, by the way. Emotion towards Monika and Yuri. As I imagine, you model students wouldn't want to break into school twice. You'd be correct. Her stern visage betrays no humor. Looks like my joke didn't quite go to plan. Anyway, now that we've got all of that sorted, she quickly checks the clock. I'm going to have to get going now, so now is a good time to call the session here. I'll see you guys at the party. Let's make a move, Sayori. Okay. I'll see you guys later. By the way, we'll pack away and go our separate ways. Okay, that was very brief. Like, oh, there we go. There's a Christmas party. Are we gonna have a Secret Santa then? Because she said, see you at the party. So that means that there is no Secret Santa thing then, right? By all accounts, today would be a day I'd like spending with Sayori. After our club meeting, though, she texted everyone suggesting a secret oh, okay, like this, okay. Suggesting a Secret Santa idea, where we all buy each other presents. Funnily enough, I ended up with her as my Santa. Of course, of course. When I went for Yuri, Yuri was my Secret Santa, and then, but now that I'm going for Sayori, Sayori's my Secret Santa. How convenient. I'm 100% sure now that Natsuki will be my Secret Santa if I go for Natsuki's route. Which puts a dampener on things. I was looking forward to Christmas shopping with her. Yeah, exactly. As I didn't fancy going along, I decided to message Yuri and see if she wanted to come. Oh, okay. Okay. So when I go for Natsuki, Sayori will be the person I would do Christmas shopping with, I guess. So just so that you can do everything with everyone. That's pretty funny. As I wasn't Yuri's Santa, she agreed. Although, in typical Yuri fashion, she was quite surprised that I wanted to go shopping with her. Some things never change. Wow, those roads look like made of pure ice. That's scary. So, any idea what you get to Monika? What you get, Monika? Okay, so she has Monika now instead of me. I have some ideas, but nothing I'm truly certain on. Part of the downside of shopping for someone is that there's also no argument between Natsuki and Yuri about, you know, the whole Christmas like gift idea, you know. So that's also interesting. Well, then again, that moment was purely there for me to either be Yuri's knight in shining armor for no reason, other than scoring brownie points, which was the most lousy excuse ever, or just to show that, you know, I'm not biased only towards Yuri, so that I can also show her that, you know, I'm just being honest with her and not supporting her just because it's Yuri, which helped me get to the good ending in the end. Part of the downside of shopping for someone is that when you don't know them well, you can never be sure what they want. If it's any consolation, I don't really know what to get Sayori either. Truth be told, I've never been that great with presents. Maybe a new bow? Or some new clothes? But women's clothing make no sense to me. I've never really talked to Sayori about her fashion sense. Well, we have the entire day ahead of ourselves, Mark. It would be sensible to look at the recipient's hobbies and go from there, wouldn't you think? Hopefully we'll be able to find something. Actually, Yuri, you're being really, really relaxed. Like, surprisingly relaxed around me, even though, you know, you were, like, panicking at the sight of me, like, a few days ago, or a few months ago. I guess you do warm up to people faster than you anticipate yourself when you're not going into for a relationship with them. At this time of the year, the streets are very busy. Well, I just have to assume that because the background is completely empty except for the snow. Yeah. Also, by the way, I believe I mentioned this in a previous episode, but there was a huge snowstorm where I live a few weeks ago. And there was one entire week of complete snowfall. Well, there was a huge amount of snow fell in one day, a few hours, I'd say, because it was a code red heavy snowstorm, and it didn't snow at all after that for a week, but it kept below 0 degrees Celsius the entire time. So the snow just stayed there, and we had one entire week of snow, but. Literally yesterday, everything started to melt. Also within no, not yesterday, but 2 days ago. Temperature started rising above 0, and there was heavy rainfall, and just like that, almost all the snow is gone within a few days. So just as fast as it came, that's how quickly it disappeared as well. But yeah, it was a very nice week because we hadn't had snow here in forever. At this time of the year, yeah, the streets are busy, yeah. Seems like half the entire town decided to do their Christmas shopping today. From the constant fiddling of her hair and the nervous look in her eyes, it's clear that Yuri isn't a fan of crowds. She's standing quite close to me, her eyes bouncing around whenever someone passes close to her. You know, Whoa, hang on. You know, I didn't read that properly. You know, I've had an idea. Oh? Well, Monika plays the piano, right? Buy an entire new piano for her! So I'd imagine she'd be into music. Have you ever spoken to her about what kind of bands she likes? Any musicians in particular? You know, now that you mention it... Yes, we have had discussions about her musical preferences before. While our tastes aren't exactly aligned completely, we both tend to appreciate music with thoughtful lyrics. She has a preference towards music that has lyrics with clever wordplay. If I recall correctly, she wasn't much of a rap fan, although she has begun to appreciate the thought and effort that goes into rapping. I find it funny that Yuri's talking about this sort of thing. This seems like something she has... Well, she says she appreciates music, but in general this feels like something that Yuri really isn't too familiar with, which is kind of funny that she's giving it so much thought. Much like with poetry, lyrics can be a powerful way to express your thoughts, the battles you're going through, and the demons you face. The only thing they fear is you. Sorry. I really feel like playing Doom Eternal all of a sudden, and I don't know why. The effect of music can be incredible. Yes, it can definitely be incredible, Yuri. Not just on the listener, but the artists themselves. Take the famous singer Freddie Mercury. Outside of the band he was in, he was shy and actually rather introverted. What, really? I've always seen him as really flamboyant and confident, rather. When he was on stage, it was like he owned the whole room. Ah, but you see, that was only while he was on stage. As a performer, he was, of course, as bold and confident and rambunctious as you may think. She stares off dreamily, lost in thought. Yuri? Oh goodness, I'm so sorry. That's actually kind of similar to me as well. Well, not that I like go... Oh, actually, yes, I have done that before. Go like a complete party animal on stage once during my sister's wedding. That's why I did that. Which is pretty funny because no one expected me to do that, but I just had it in mind the entire evening while it was happening. And it was a few years ago, but Psy came out with that new song, I Love It. It's been a few years now since that song came out. It was, I don't know how I can't sing it, of course, because I don't speak Korean, but like, I love it, I love it. Yes, we did it, I love it. Oh no, that's a different song. Masakata okaya matasita or something along those lines. I don't speak Korean again. But yeah, that song had just come out, and I absolutely love that song because it's oh, I don't know. Well, the dance was pretty cool, and I just like memorized the dance from the video clip, and I practiced it on my own in my own room, like in my spare time, with no one else knowing how that I was even into that or like doing dancing or whatever. And during my sister's wedding, there was a DJ there, and you could request songs. So I requested that song, and then it was a bit late, so the dance floor was like completely empty. And then I requested that song, and the DJ was like, "Okay, all right, sure." So that song came on, and I just stepped on in the middle of an empty dance floor, and I just fucking danced the hell out of that, which was pretty fucking crazy because I never fucking do any of that shit. Like normally, because, well, as I mentioned, I am very much like Yuri, and I am very much quiet and introverted, quiet, only speak when spoken to, but when you do speak with me, I like elaborate a lot about stuff that I like very much and stuff. So if you didn't know me and you would see me, you would never think I would do that. And even if you did know me and knew me personally, even those people would never have thought that I would do that. But I did. Because, well, I don't know why. I wasn't drunk because I don't drink any alcohol because I think it's absolutely disgusting. But, yeah, I just had it in my mind the entire evening while it was going on. I was like, oh, I really want to do that just on her wedding. So, fuck it. So I requested that song and I stepped on an empty dance floor and I fucking danced the hell out of it. And not perfect, but I just, you know, I did all the moves, well, correctly, you know, like as correct as you could. And then the song was over, and then everyone there was like completely flabbergasted, and everybody just like erupted in huge applause, which was pretty funny. And then my dad was like, "Oh, you should do that. Oh, if you do that in the club, girls, you have a girl in no time." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's probably never gonna happen." And yeah, here I am. Here I am playing a game where I refer to myself as a real-life version of this very lovely-looking purple-haired girl. But yeah, in case of that with Freddie Mercury, yeah, that's also me, I guess. But I was mostly I literally thought of that just now. But I was actually going to refer to the fact that I like to give presentations. You know, when you go to school, you have to give presentations about whatever. about random subjects or about a book that you've read or whatever. And that's like one of those subjects that's like universally hated among like all students, you know, no one wants to presentate. But I always like presentating because again, it once again gives that same extreme like contrast, because everyone that knew me and everyone that didn't know me all thought that I wasn't going to be good at that. Well, I guess the people that do know me would think that I'm pretty good at that, because they've seen me do it a couple times. But the people that don't know me would really like think that I'm definitely not good at that. But then when I go to like on stage or whatever to presentate something, I grab on my PowerPoint. It's like, all right, today we're gonna be talking about this and this, like that, and then press the. I also know how to make very good PowerPoints. You know, with like not like an entire wall of text, but like perfect bullet points. Which is something that teachers have said to me a lot. Like, oh yeah, can I show your PowerPoint to other students so that they can, so that they can learn how to make better PowerPoints? We're like, okay, sure, whatever. But yeah, you know, because the whole point of a PowerPoint is that it helps you to build your story around. You don't want to put everything on it, because then you just get a wall of text and whatever. So I was pretty good at that, only putting like a few words or sentences on it. So I you know, when you have one of those things where you click and then it goes to the next thing. So you click and then, all right, there we go, new bullet points appears. Like, okay, bam, this and that and this and that, and then we do this, and then this happens, and then next slide, then this and that, and there, bam, and like bam, 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 as if I'd done it for years and whatever. And I'm like, okay, there was my presentation, goodbye. And I always had like 9s and 8s, 9s, and 10s for presentations I had, even if I had to do presentations in German, which I speak alright-ish, but not fluently, although I would love to learn how to speak it fluently, just like I would love to learn how to speak Latin and Japanese fluently. But yeah, I never got lower than an 8, I believe, on any presentation I've ever given, so... Which was, again, pretty funny, because people that that didn't know me personally, had no idea that I would be so good at that. And because I would be the super quiet kid in the back of the classroom that you would never know. Like, if I was sick and I wasn't gonna appear, you wouldn't miss me, you know? Like, I was that person. And then that same person steps on stage, like, gives a fucking presentation that it leaves everyone stunned, and then sits back down and is the quiet person again. Like, you know? Like, everyone's like, whoa, hang on a minute, what? Where did all that come from? Like, do you save up the entire year for this presentation or whatever? Like, no, I just... don't really have any... I'm not really scared about doing stuff like that. Same thing with, well, it's a bit of a less funny topic, but when I went to my mom's funeral, I also prepared the speech that I wanted to recite before the congregation, I guess it's called, for all the people that were attending her funeral. And yeah, that was just like, oh, whatever. I was mostly crying afterwards and between, but not during the presentation, but the recital of the text. But and then the funnier side of that was that my dad had a work colleague, because my mom works at the company that my dad has created, and so a lot of people at my dad's work knew her as well, so a few of her closest work friends were also there. And one person that was there that knew her personally and well, was my dad's business partner, and he was also there. I didn't know, but I knew that he was there, but I didn't know where he was or whatever. So he was there, and I did my speech and whatever, and then the rest of the funeral and all that type of stuff. And then apparently I didn't know, but I went after the funeral was over. I went with a walk with my dad through the forest, out like just out of away from where the funeral was. Just like we just had a bit of a walk together and just talked about things. And then my dad said, like, hey, did you know, like, after your speech, that business partner of mine came over, and he said, like, wow, I never knew Mark was so good at that. We should offer him a job at this and this place after he's done with school. And then he was apparently like, he was like a super, like, what's it called? He was like, well, like totally flabbergasted or whatever on how well or whatever I did my speech at such an emotional heavy moment. So, and he was like, holy crap, like your son is really good at it, we should offer him a job at this and that or whatever. And my dad's like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So yeah, we both my dad and I both shared a bit of a laugh at that. So yeah, I do understand what Yuri is trying to say, because again, that's me. That is me. Anyway, I've gone off topic, so I digress severely. So let's get back on topic. Buying a present for Monika and Sayori. I didn't mean to get off on a tangent. Well, Yuri, guess what I just did? And then, if there's anyone out there that still doesn't think that Yuri and I are meant to be, like, I don't even know what you're watching. Anyway, yes, I think the music store would be a fine place to start. Let's make a move, shall we? Ah, there we go. Thankfully, the music shop is much quieter than the streets outside. As predicted, Yuri visibly relaxes, taking a deep breath. Much better. Now, where do you suppose we should start? If I remember correctly, Monika hadn't been playing the piano for long, right? She must still be a novice. So, as my eyes wander, a feasible choice of present grabs my attention. How about these? We amble over, with Yuri looking on curiously. It's basically a guide on how to play popular songs on piano. I flip it over, checking out the description on the back. Note for notes, specially catered for beginners. Oh, she flips through the pages. I've never heard Monika discuss these artists before, so she might not even want to learn how to play any of these songs. Not that your suggestion wasn't a good one. I didn't mean to sound dismissive or anything. It wasn't dismissive, Yuri. It was a pretty smart thing to bring up. It was just a suggestion. Let's keep looking. It's tempting to get Sayori something from here as well. I knew what her tastes were like when we were younger, but I have no idea if they've changed. Nah, probably best to come up with... probably best to come with her one day. I remember Monika was talking about this song. I peer over to see what she's looking at. Huh? The retro aisle? Huh? Double huh? I didn't know she was really into really old songs. If I remember correctly, this appealed to her more so from a metaphorical perspective. What's more is that the song is actually a story in itself. Initially describing a castaway lost at sea, slowly losing all hope after admitting it's been a year since he wrote his SOS message. It then describes how he resigns himself to his fate, accepting that he's alone, cut off from the real world, with no one to save him despite his own... Oh, okay, yeah, well, how convenient that that Monika has, feels connected to this song somehow. But one day he wakes up and realizes that there are other bottles scattered around the shore, and so he realizes that other people share his loneliness. Ironically, he shares his loneliness with other people. The entire tale told under 5 minutes. Shares your loneliness with other people. Wow. And then Monika feels that on a spiritual level. Wow. That sounds like she's, I don't know, trapped in a video game world and wants to be with the player, even though that's not possible, and she feels super lonely because the only person that can understand her, and she's the only person that can understand the player, and there's no way for them to be together because she's trapped in a video game and not in real life. Maybe, I don't know, I just thought of that for some reason. It would make for a very good video game though. Would make for a very good story for a video game. Well, it isn't quite what I'd listen to either. The themes that underlie the song and the message it portrays is powerful. The power of loneliness stemming from an individual cut off from the real world. Yeah, just rub it in, Yuri, rub it in. Desperately seeking someone to rescue them. The loss of hope. Man, a conversation between Yuri and Monika will probably go on for hours if this explanation is anything to go by. You really look into this stuff, don't you? Sorry, I know it must be really weird, and you didn't even ask for any analysis. Aww. It's not weird at all. I think it's really cool how you don't take a song at face value. Even with lyrics, you find all the metaphors and hidden meanings. It's not something I really do myself, but if it's something you enjoy, power to you, right? Really? Really? Don't be ashamed of who you are, Yuri. You've got your interest and that's great. I'll admit that we're different in that sense, but I never look down on you for being more analytical. Besides, it probably helps you in school. Anyway, did you want to get the is it vinyl or vinyl? Vinyl, isn't it? It's vinyl, right? Vinyl for this song, or... well, I don't know if she has a vinyl player. There wouldn't be much point if she doesn't have one. I actually had another idea for a gift, which should hopefully be more dependable. Oh, we're back here again. Back here? Yeah, when Sayori and I were doing festival preparation, we came here for supplies. This place had what we needed, so I'm a little more confident now. Anyway, what did you have in mind? Oh well, I noticed that Monika handwrites a lot of things. Her poems, her entries in her planner and diary. I've always admired the look and feel of a well-crafted fountain pen. These days, they're quite rare. Most people use biros or ballpoints. A fountain pen, huh? Funny you mentioned that, actually. If you were my secret Santa, that's probably what I'd get you. No, that's not true. I would get you a tea set. Oh, no, a teapot. That reminds me of you. Guess you both appreciate the same things. Well, I'm not really sure. Oh, yeah, or I would give you that kanji paper or whatever it's called that I bought for you but never gave you. Not really sure if she would like it, but I suppose it's more dependable than a vinyl given she doesn't need any equipment to use the gift. Anyway, let's have a look. In front of us lies a shelf, carefully studded with a wide variety of fancy-looking fountain pens, all in different shapes, sizes, colors, and styles. Yuri takes out a selection of the choices, handling each one with the utmost care. She turns them over in her hands, bringing each pen up to eye level, inspecting it from nib to the edge of the cap. Being totally honest, while I can definitely see their appeal, it's a little boring. I'm sure that to the right person they're much more than just a writing instrument. But for me they're just metal sticks that hold ink. I mean, what exactly can you do with a pen, aside from writing? As my mind wanders, a typical reaction when I'm bored, she calls me over. This one tempts me the most, what do you think? Well, it's definitely pretty. The dark green against the black looks really cool. Dark green, good for Monika. Feels pretty weighty too. I can imagine she'd really like this one. The last part isn't exactly true, but at this point I'm not exactly keen to spend lots of time in this shop. Oh, come on! Don't be a fucking dick. Yuri has a habit of getting lost in her own little world, and while I don't mind it, it can drag out at times. Don't be a dick, okay? You just now said that you don't care you just now said that Yuri should be Yuri, and then like a few seconds later you really were like, okay, Yuri, you can be Yuri, but you need to hurry the motherfucking fuck up, please. No, shut the fuck up, okay? Let Yuri take as much time as she wants over there. The only reason why you should hurry her up is if you actually have to be somewhere else. Like if there actually is time pressure. If there's no time pressure, don't be an asshole. You can find it as boring as you want, but don't be an asshole about it. Keep these thoughts well tucked away and don't let Yuri notice that at all. If Yuri notices that, I don't care if I'm on the Sayori route, but then my character is going to get an ass whooping from here back to Tokyo or wherever he lives, and then all the way back here again. I like how it comes with its own bottle of ink too. A nice little touch. I think this one will do fine. I would heave a sigh of relief. I had the feeling that Yuri would take even longer than Sayori when it comes to shopping. Let's just hope we don't pass by the books. Let's just hope we don't pass by the book. Oh, you fucking asshole! Stop it with those stupid remarks. I'm seriously getting pissed off at my character here. What will you get Sayori? Still have no idea. Anyway, anything to do with clothes are out of the picture. Don't know what her style or size is. What does Sayori like to do in her free time? Sleep? Eat? Yuri stifles a small laugh. Come on, Mark. You're missing an obvious one. I don't think being clumsy is a hobby. Poetry! Wow. Now I really do feel like an idiot. So, like a new notebook to write poems in? Never bought a gift for a poet before. That's a viable choice. However, although, if I can suggest... Well, far be it for me to tell you what to get her, but... Yuri, that's the point of a suggestion, don't worry. Given your history together, would it be... I'm not gonna be offended, Yuri. Well, would it not be better to get a more personalized present? Something that really reminds you of her? A new notebook or pen are of course practical gifts, but they aren't particularly personal. Okay, so a more personalized present, something that reminds me of her. For instance, let's look at her poems. They are rather intimate, no? A reflection of her inner thoughts and reflection of her inner thoughts and feelings. Well, I really liked her bottles poem and... Wait! That's it! Sorry, I'm not sure if I understand. You can buy little bottles that are illuminated by lights. If I get a few, all with different color lights, they can be metaphors for the happy thoughts she has. Yuri's eyes light up. Ah, that's such a wonderful idea, Mark. Not only is it very thoughtful, but it's also a wonderful homage to one of her best poems. I guarantee you that she will love it. Ha, I really surprised myself, don't I? Where would you get such a gift from, though? You can order them from the internet. I'll tell you what, actually. Do you want to wrap your present for Monika at my place? I can order Sayori's gift and help you out with that. Are you sure? I've already taken up a lot of your time, and I'd hate to. It's Christmas, Yuri. We give or take a few give or take a few days. Come on, if you're sure. Okay. Okay, that's my phone noise. Okay, and then the Christmas party is now. Okay, I'll end it off here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Click the like button if you did. Subscribe to join the Roman army, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, Romans. Valete.